Welcome back to episode 12 of Hockey Actually, everyone. I hope you're excited to see both of us here. Neither of us are injured,
Hey.
unlike the Vancouver Canucks. Um,
Well, actually,
I'm
I'm injured, but
I'm
quicker and
Izzy.
quicker.
This is Nicolleta, who's apparently injured. And that marks yet another person on the IR, apparently, because that IR is loaded, y'all. It's
Looking like its own roster.
you know what? It pretty much is at this point.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right into it. Injuries. What else can we say? Just when you think that things could not get worse, somehow they do. Um, just to go through every single player who is currently out injured. We have Nils Hoglander, who is on the LTIR for a lower body injury. We have Philip Hedl, who has an upper body injury and is on the IR, but needs to be cleared by our concussion protocol. Jonathan Lekermacki, who his injury is undisclosed. He's on the IR. Teddy Bluger, injury undisclosed, IR. Connor Garland, who was injured last night, did not come out for the third period against JT Miller and the New York Rangers. He's on the IR. He will not be making the trip that the Canucks are about to take for 3 games. Derek Forward is undisclosed LTIR. Quinn Hughes, who missed Sunday's game and has yet to return and is also not traveling on the trip. Lower body, quote unquote, day to day. And Victor Mancini, who is on the IR with an upper body injury, who left Sunday's game. And bless you. Oh, you're good. Um, and on Abbotsford, we also have Guillaume Brisebois, who is suffering from a lower body injury and is on the IR. And we have Jet Wu, who is suffering from an upper body injury and is quote unquote week to week. So that is currently
10 people.
10 people confirmed on the IR. We also have Nikita Tolopilo for Abbotsford, but we don't know a whole lot about that. So we're going to be optimistic and say 10 people in the Canucks organization.
Yeah, that is
Whoop-de-doo.
pretty tragic for the beginning of October. Well, end of October, but pretty much the beginning of the season.
Within the first month of the season, within the first 11 games of the season. So,
And
um,
half of those guys were not like, okay, like Quinn Hughes, he had an injury, and Niels Hoglander, Filipino, like those guys, they've had injuries before, but like Mancini, Lekermacki, like these are brand new injuries that just happened. Like, what kind of luck is that?
this is the way the season is going, people. This is the way it
Yeah.
seems like it's going. Um, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you just it's almost funny at this point. No, well, it's not funny, but it's ironic
It's ironic.
the way it's
Yes.
playing out. And I do wonder if, like, I mean, we've talked about it before, the schedule and how they're playing. Like, they played a back to back this weekend. They played a back to back the weekend before. They were on a 5 game road trip that they completed in like a week, and now they're going on another road trip. Um, and of course, we're seeing this condensed schedule because of the Olympics coming up in February. But I don't know, the fact that you look at the team and they've pretty much almost stopped having morning skates and practices because they don't really have the time to do that, and everyone's so tired. They had their first morning skate in like maybe a week yesterday before the Rangers game, and look at how that ended up. It's one of those things where I don't know, is the condensed schedule playing into this kind of injury proneness? What do we think?
I think the overworking of the athletes is what is contributing to the susceptibility of injuries. And whether that be that condensed schedule, I would say probably. I'm not like convinced because they're used to being on the ice every 2 or 3 days, but it's definitely difficult off the get-go
Mm-hmm.
to be so intense. So I think you're probably right in saying that this condensed schedule is adding to the injury promise.
Oh yeah. I mean, like if you look at so quicker turnaround between games, you kind of trickle that down into players being tired, which means they're not as effective as, say, being able to avoid that extra hit or, like skate a little faster to avoid something else, right? And
Yeah.
because of that, you kind of lead it into injuries. I mean, you look at how many of these injuries seem like they've stemmed from hits, like Garland last night. People are saying, and I think Foot had mentioned it did have to do with the hit that Sam Carrick had on him. And Mancini, too, I think was a hit. And then, of course, then you got Hedel and Lekermacki and all these players. And I don't know, like for it to be like this bad, just a little over 10 games into the season is kind of like, what do we have?
It's jarring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
It's very like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, right. And like because of this, like you've got like eight players out of your lineup right now. Look at Abbotsford. Like this that roster there is just so thin now because everyone
I
else
don't
is up here.
I'm covering Abbotsford and I don't recognize like half of it. Like they're from trading prospects,
Mm-hmm.
like it's it's not the team you saw in the Calder Cup finals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty tragic because that team was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like half of that team is now up with Vancouver, didn't really have time to prep for the NHL season. Like for NHL, like just the physicality, I think, is what's really getting to the team.
Yeah.
And it saddens me that that's the case. Like if it was because it was overworking your muscles or like you just tweaked it wrong, I don't know, you felt you did something. But the injuries are being caused by other players, which is so unfortunate
Mm-hmm.
because it takes away from the game. Like, yes, okay, hockey is a physical sport, we know that. But when you're causing injuries that have people out for a couple weeks, maybe the NHL needs to relook because it's not just our team.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are injuries across the NHL.
Seattle's pretty injured, I believe. The Rangers
Yeah,
are pretty injured.
the Rangers are pretty injured. I believe Florida's got some pretty key players that are injured. You've got people on the Oilers team like Hyman who are still out.
Mm-hmm.
Like there there are quite a few like important people that have injuries because of being physical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the NHL plans to do, or if that is just the way that the game is going to be from now on. But I mean, we're also one of the lightest teams in the NHL.
Yeah. I mean, like it's hard because they've kind of made the schedule now. They can't really tweak it, especially with the Olympics. Like you can't really move the Olympics. And
No.
and it's like I mean, they've already got all this stuff organized, so it's kind of they just have to play through it at this point. Like there's no real changing it. So,
Well, and I mean, I'm not speaking for the players, but in my opinion, the Olympics are a little bit more important than an NHL season. Like, yes, the Stanley Cup is one of the hardest things to earn, but a gold medal at the Olympics that only happens every 4 years. That's that's going to take priority
I
over
think it
anything. So
I think it depends on who you ask cuz I personally feel like I would agree, but then we were talking to Sarah Nurse like um I think it was in August, and we were asking like, like what where her priorities are, and she was like, "Well, we want to build something here in Vancouver first and foremost. Team Canada comes second to that," which I found really interesting. But again, she's
I
been at
don't
the
know that
Olympics almost
yeah.
every year, so
I was gonna say I don't know that Sarah Nurse is the best example of that because she's already achieved the highest level possible at the
that's true.
Olympics.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
And it's
consistently
not
does.
taking away, yeah, not taking away from her opinion whatsoever,
Mhm.
but just like taking into account that she's already achieved what other people haven't
Mhm.
multiple times.
Yeah, that's true.
So for her, an inaugural season in Vancouver where she can like truly make her mark in a city.
Mhm.
I like if I were her, I would say that that's more important than winning a gold medal.
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah,
I mean, she'll probably win one anyways, let's be honest, but
easy dubs for Sarah Nurse all around.
hopefully in Vancouver too. Fingers crossed. But we can get back to PWHL Vancouver later because we do have some stuff to talk about for that. But yeah, on that injury note, as mentioned earlier, there's a potential injury scare in Abbotsford as well. I believe it was Friday night during banner raising night that Nikita Tolopilo went down with a potential injury and has yet to return as of what's the day today? Wednesday at like 11 in the morning. So pretty much from what I had heard, he made this great stop on a 5-on-3 chance. But then he kind of went down. Trainer was looking at him. He said, "It's okay. I'm going to keep playing." And then he stopped after a little bit and took himself out of the game, which I mean,
When a player does that, you know it's pretty serious.
yeah,
I
exactly.
hate to be that person. If it's the coach telling you, like, let's just be preventative, like, usually when it's the coach, it's being preventative.
Yeah.
But when it's the player, it's, I've already crossed that line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, like, I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope it's not the case. I hope that's not the case.
Yep.
But I'm not hopeful that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was a whole thing where Ty Mueller was also out, Klimovich was also out, but those two came back. Coach Manny Malhotra had said they're all day to day. He had said the same about Tolopilo at the time, but I don't know if that's changed yet. Regardless, though, Abbotsford does have some, like, they have it locked down in net right now. Ty Young looked pretty great last night against the Wranglers.
I'm sorry, didn't they lose 4-0?
3-0. But he did play pretty well. I did end up watching that game, but yeah,
Yeah. Well, I,
Vancouver is not the only team being impacted by injuries, I guess. So,
I mean, I guess you could look at it like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty depressing. Just looking at it from an objective standpoint, this is not promising. However, it does give people who maybe we wouldn't have thought to rise to the occasion, you know? And while it's saddening, it could also be a good turnaround. You never know. Like we've got promising players coming out of nowhere, like people like Lukas Reichel, who we just acquired from the Chicago Blackhawks. You know, like it's his time to shine. You know, this is his opportunity to really take the lead. And we've got Sherwood, who's absolutely killing it this year, and I'm so happy to see that.
like, it's one of those things, like, I agree, where it's, of course, they always talk about next man up mentality, and it's kind of hard doing that when there are pretty much no men coming up. But yeah, the Canucks made a trade on Friday to acquire forward Lukas Reichel from the Chicago Blackhawks. And this poor dude, his travel day, and he played against Montreal at 4 p.m. Pretty much, for people who have not heard, poor guy, his flights got canceled coming from Chicago to Vancouver. And then he faced mechanical issues. He got in Vancouver at around like 11 a.m. on Saturday, had a nap, and then went to play. And that was his first time playing with the team. There was no practice, no morning skate. That was his first time. And honestly, like, for,
Dedication, props to
yeah,
him.
exactly. And for
Props
that
to
being
him.
his first time, like, he looked good. And he has looked good the past couple days. Like, they are playing him at center, which he historically hasn't been doing at the NHL level. He's mostly been at wing. But like, honestly, I've been impressed and I've been surprised with how he's been playing. He plays with a lot of speed. the team has put him predominantly with Evander Kane and Brock Besser. So they are giving him tools to succeed. He's currently their second line center. I would assume that when everyone is back and healthy, which we have no idea when that could be, that he'll probably slot onto the wing. But I mean, I don't know. I have liked the way he has played so far.
For
And
now, I think he's doing a decent job of being kind of thrown into this madness.
oh yeah, right? Can you imagine? Like this is your first game after getting like what 2 hours of sleep, and then you've got like 8 injuries.
But I mean, he's coming from the Blackhawks, so he's probably used to it.
That's true.
Not to poop on the Blackhawks. But yeah. Anyhow, do we
but
want to talk about him at all? Like,
Reichel?
yeah,
I mean, like, yeah, he's played well. Like I said, speedy.
I
He,
think the trade itself was great
yeah,
for just a fourth round pick.
mhm,
Pretty solid.
yeah, pretty good.
First
And
time I said that management did well at something.
hey, they signed Sherwood, so
That's true. But wasn't that like Quinn Hughes' idea?
yes, he did have some influence into that. So okay, maybe not, but yeah, no, it was a good deal for a player who looked like he wanted a change of scenery, right? And here he has it now, right? Yeah, I've been impressed with how he's been playing. I've liked the way
Happy.
he's played. Happy.
We're not mad
No
about it.
complaints here from for Reichel.
Perfect.
But
Next topic or
hmm?
next topic?
Yeah. Well, speaking on players who've been getting opportunities, Tom Villander made his NHL debut on Tuesday night against the Rangers. Tom Villander made his NHL debut Tuesday. He was called up that night and played that night because again, two players were out after Sunday. So he
Yeah.
prior to that he'd played 5 games with Abbotsford and scored a goal and an assist. What did you think of Willander's time in Abbotsford before he ended up coming up to the big club?
Um, fine. Like, I wouldn't say it was outstanding,
Yeah.
but it wasn't bad. So I mean, it's I don't really have any complaints, but I have yet to kind of see that wow factor that people were expecting from him.
Mm, yeah.
I think that's where I'm hesitant, and it's a shame because it's not that he's playing poorly; he's playing well. But I think people really, I don't, I want to refrain from saying overhyped him, but they like kind of circulated this narrative of he's gonna change the entire Canucks team, like
Mm,
he's gonna be our next Quinn Hughes, and
mm,
that's a lot of pressure to put on someone,
yeah.
especially because Quinn Hughes had a lot of time to develop.
Mm,
Like he wasn't fantastic off the get go. Like he was a good player and he stayed in the Vancouver lineup throughout his career. But like Tom Willander, like this guy just came on, and what he's like, how old is he? 20
20,
something?
I think. Yeah, like
Yeah,
20. Yeah.
he's young. He still has time to learn and grow, and it's a shame that people painted this narrative, and unfortunately, it does impact your opinion on the player.
Mm. I do think
So,
part of it, again, not to tie it back to injuries, but everything ties back to injuries at this point. Like the fact that he's getting this call up so early and like making his debut so early, I don't think that was what they had in mind, the team. Like they wanted him to kind of gather
develop.
himself in Abbotsford. Like this is his first pro season, right? He's been playing in at BU for the past 2 years. Like this is his first season in pro hockey. Give him that time to kind of develop in a consistent setting in Abbotsford and then
Yeah,
see where he
exactly.
goes from there. But of course,
It's not the
injuries.
case.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Uh but
never really know with this team.
yep, but injuries means that more and more players are being brought into the lineup, which is why Vancouver has made quite a few roster moves in the past couple days. But today on Wednesday, they did call up an Abby boy. did you want to talk a little bit more about who Vancouver called up?
I actually don't know that a lot of the Vancouver fans are going to be familiar with him, but I know that a lot of the St. Louis fans are, and that is MacKenzie MacEachern. He is 31 years old and born in Michigan. He's about 6'2", 193 pounds, and he's a left winger and he shoots left. He was a third round, 67th overall pick by the St. Louis Blues in the 2012 NHL draft. He did 3 seasons at Michigan State University. He had a pretty solid career and he developed as a two-way forward, which I think is something that Vancouver has really been looking for. Um, he played a couple games in the AHL. He's done 123 total games in the NHL. And he was actually part of the Blues team that won the Stanley Cup in 2019, which was his rookie season. So promising stuff. He was signed on July 1st of 2025 to a 2-year, two-way contract with the Canucks. Um, you know, he's more of a depth role, probably like a bottom six forward. Um, he's kind of like an energy or depth winger, like someone just to bring back that like physicality, veteran presence type thing. Um, he was a pretty consistent contributor in the AHL when he played, and he's proved to be reliable. Not always like the flashiest, but dependable, which I think is a great thing to have right now for the Vancouver Canucks. And
Dependable is all you need at this point.
Dependable, yeah. Like, just dependable is what we need. And it kind of gives him a fresh start and probably going to give him a lot more time in the NHL too, depending on the injuries.
Right, literally. But the fact that he does have both NHL and AHL experience as well as a Stanley Cup, it does strike as a positive to me. Like this guy has been around, not calling him old or anything, but he's been around, he knows the game, he knows how to play at each level. And that's something that's very valuable for a team like Vancouver, who is missing so many people in both the NHL and the AHL. So,
yeah, even that just veteran presence. Like, I know that they probably wanted him in the AHL to kind of like similar with another one of our players that we'll talk about later who we signed. Where it's like you have that presence to kind of help the younger kids develop.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's like having it's a really funny analogy because the other day I was talking with a friend and he was like, oh, we always have 2 dogs in the house with a younger dog. And I was like, oh, why do you do that? And he said, because the younger ones teach the skills to the older ones because they kind of like not speak the same language. Obviously, it's like a little different, but it's like they have a lot of commonalities together and it brings them together. And that way that they can kind of apply the skills that they've learned to the younger ones. So, yeah. So I think that it's going to be good just for organizational depth, insurance in case of injuries, mentorship in general, and like he's a reliable two-way contributor. So
especially since Abby is before the injuries, Abby was such a young roster. Like there's so many, like their defense completely full of young guys, Villander, Sawyer Minio, and then even like looking at the role that Ty Mueller has taken on this season, there's so many younger players in that lineup that they almost needed some veterans like MacEachern and Joe Labate to kind of
like it's necessary.
Yeah. Which is why, maybe they needed one of their Calder Cup champion veterans to return because they signed Jujhar Khaira, former Abbey Canuck, current Abbey Canuck now, and 2025 Calder Cup champion. They signed him to a 1-year deal on Thursday. Did you want to talk a little bit about the return of Jujhar Khaira?
I mean, he's just a good veteran player who has lots of games played in the NHL, like 337 games. which I think is substantial. And having that kind of a player in the AHL is such a win for the Vancouver Canucks right now. For the Abbotsford Canucks. It is such a win for the Abbotsford Canucks right now. And what else can I say about him?
He's like, I
He's
think just like he needed to return with the way that
the way
Abbotsford's
things have been
roster.
going.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the way things are going. They needed someone familiar, right? Who can kind of help bring like he's a physical player, right? He's one of those guys. He'll drop the
He'll get down and dirty, like
yeah, exactly. Like he's gonna defend his teammates. He's versatile. He can play on different sides of the ice, right? And like it was kind of something that had to be done with whatever's going on in Vancouver right now. You never know who is going to be taken from Abbotsford at any point at this point.
it
And
was
then
a necessary re-signing.
yeah, exactly. And it's good because now he gets to play for his hometown team for another
Yeah,
season. And hopefully
yeah.
he leads them back to a Calder Cup, but they are on a 5-game losing streak as of Wednesday morning. So I guess we'll see.
Not the greatest as of right now, but that's okay.
It's the trickle down effect. They're injured because Vancouver is injured, which, yeah, yeah,
Whatever. It is what it is. Can't
mhm,
really do much about it. But
exactly. Kara's not the only player that the Canucks signed actually recently, as Abbotsford has also signed Drazner to is it a 1-year deal?
yeah, it's a 1 year, but it's a PTO, professional
Okay.
tryout.
Hmm.
So that happened yesterday. Do you want me to go into who Robby Drazner is, what we can expect from him?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so he's 25 years old, so
Mhm.
decently young.
So pretty young, yeah.
He-
Hmm.
yeah, pretty young. He previously played for Western Michigan University and won the 2025 NCAA championship.
Oh.
So that's pretty exciting. He started the this season in the ECHL with Kalamazoo Wings, three
Okay.
games
Hmm.
and 1 assist before Abbotsford brought him in.
Hmm.
He is a right shot defenseman. He's 6'1", 194 pounds. And the signing comes in for like a blue line depth issue for the Abbotsford Canucks, because of NHL recalls, injuries, so on and so forth.
Mhm.
He was on the 2025 AHL training camp roster under a tryout agreement.
Oh.
So that means that I guess they saw what they liked and they're ready to go. And his AHL call-up insurance role is as a PTO. He's not locked into a full-time contract, but he provides flexibility and depth for the
Mhm.
team. So yeah, he's decent. He's a good player, but we have to see what happens if he gets signed full
Mhm.
time.
It's one of
Because
those prove yourself kind of deals. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. One of those time to prove it.
And they're
It
pretty.
seems yeah.
You said he's a right shot, right?
Yeah, right shot.
Yeah, Abby's pretty thin on right shots, so I guess it was a necessary move to bring in another right shot, especially with all the right shots that are currently missing from the lineup.
Yeah.
Like Mancini's out, and then Willander is up with Vancouver now, so I guess it was a necessary move, and we're looking forward to seeing how Drasner plays when he gets into the lineup.
Yep.
See what kind of
So
impact he can make.
we'll see.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Abbotsford is not the only Vancouver team that made some pretty key signings this week, as just yesterday, PWHL Vancouver signed a trio of their 2025 draft selections. We have Nina Jobst-Smith, who was signed to a 2-year deal, Brianna Brooks and Madison Samoskevich, who each signed 1-year deals. Uh, do we want to chat a little bit about the implications of these deals and these players and what we can expect from them coming up with training camp?
Sure. I mean, Nina Jobst-Smith, She's a defender. She's got international experience. She played for Germany's national team. She previously captained the University of Minnesota Duluth team,
Mhm.
18 points in 37 games. So it's not too shabby. She was drafted in the third round, 19th overall in 2025. Um, that's pretty much all I have to say about her, but
And she's from North Van, so she's got
she's
roots
got
in
roots.
Vancouver and yeah, exactly. Got roots in Vancouver, familiar with the city. Of course, Vancouver is very deep on their blue line right now in terms of the roster. So it'll be interesting to see if she can make that push during training camp to get a full-time roster spot. But she is a two-way defender. She can put up points. She can also block shots. And historically, she has represented Germany in international play, like you said. But I think the fact that for such a young player, and she has international experience, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is definitely a win.
Yeah,
Not that the PWHL Vancouver team needed more wins, but another
exactly.
win.
Another win on top of the multiple wins that they already have.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know you have met Brianna Brooks. You've chatted with her before. Did you want to chat a bit
Yeah,
about her?
for sure. She was drafted in the fourth round, 32nd overall. Her NCAA career happened at Penn State. Last season in the 2024-25 season, she posted 24 points in 38 games. She's from Ontario, so she's a Canadian local, which is nice. She's a strong 200-foot player. She's played pretty much her entire life. Um, she likes to spend as much time in the D zone as in the offensive zone. She sees the game well and likes to make plays and likes to score goals. So, she's also a super competitive person. Like
Mm-hmm.
I got that vibe from her when we were chatting. Like she wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's never a bad person to have on your team.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's that's what I've got to say about Brooks. I'm super happy for her and I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to see her play.
And I mean, I'm sure like with how competitive this team is going to be, like she's only going to add that edge to an already competitive roster, right? Like
Exactly.
that'll be fun to watch. There's so many players I think that the PWHL Vancouver is kind of targeted, especially in the draft and training camp, where they're hard-working, competitive players like that kind of have that motor,
Mhm.
and it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
I mean, we've got a team that wants to work hard, that
Mhm.
wants to win. And
Yes.
I think that is evident in every single player that is present on the team currently,
Oh yeah.
which I think is like, yes, people obviously want to win, but for them to each have that drive of like, when you ask them initially, hey, like, what do you want to do? And it's like, we want to prove ourselves. We want to make a point in Vancouver. Like, this is the team. We want to make it work.
Mhm.
And almost every single player on our team has said that.
Yeah.
Like, that is really, really like, what's the word? Calming. It's easing. It's easing my soul a little bit because at least we have one Vancouver team that is most likely going to win.
It's okay. Maybe BC will get back-to-back championships this year. Abbotsford last year, Walter Cup this year. That's what it looks like, at least. I mean, with the roster.
I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm not convinced, but I'm hopeful.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And then we've got Madison Samoskevich. Do you want to talk about her?
Yeah. So Samoskevich, she spent 5 years in the NCAA with Quinnipiac. Vancouver drafted her 39th overall, which was in the fifth round this year. She's the thing that has stuck out most to me about her is that she's very versatile in her roles. Typically, like typically she plays as a defender, but I think last year in particular, she actually spent some time playing as a forward, which is something that really intrigues me about her is that she can play either role, which is not something you see very often. Um,
Very rare.
I think in pro hockey in general, just because you need to be able to know some sort of skills, know some sort of traits in order to play each role. And the fact that she can do both effectively is very promising, of course. Yeah, so she did that at Quinnipiac. I'm wondering if she's gonna have a similar role with Vancouver. Is she gonna be like a floater? Is she gonna be on D forward?
Yeah, I
I
believe
don't
they
know.
signed her as a forward, but I could be mistaken.
Honestly, I feel like she could probably fit in wherever on this team, right? Like still,
And she's only 22.
yeah, right. All these players are
She's my
really,
age. They're so young.
yeah, right.
So good for her. We're happy. We're happy with the signings.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the PWHL, Izzy and I are thrilled.
We are always thrilled. This is such a refreshing break from whatever's going on in the NHL right now.
Oh my God.
But
Tell me about it.
that's enough negativity for now. Let's end the episode on a positive note, right? PWHL Vancouver looks great, and training camp is set to open not next week, but the week after. So, or no, it is next week. Yeah, because it's the 7th. Oh my God, time flies.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll be at training camp. Keep your eyes posted for stuff on socials or like our articles and stuff. There will be a lot of stuff coming out within the next couple weeks about PWHL Vancouver. So if you are a Canucks fan and you're looking for some optimism, go check that out because that's about as optimistic as it gets right now.
Yeah. Well said. Izzy and I will be very busy covering both teams, but
yes. But thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah. That is the end of episode 12. We'll be back next week. And like I said,
hopefully we'll have better things to say about the Vancouver and Abbotsford Canucks. Yeah. More promising things.
Yes. Well, we did talk about, some re-signings. We talked about
it. I think the looming injuries just kind of overshadows the good stuff, unfortunately.
That is true. But PWHL Vancouver is in a great position right now.
Top tier stuff.
So that is your sign to go follow along if you are done with the negativity in the NHL.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah. Don't forget to comment if you have any topic suggestions, although I'm sure we'll be stuffed full of topics in the next few weeks, but
these episodes are bound to get longer.
Yep. Leave a comment, reach out to us on socials, whatever you want to do. Thanks for listening.